So hey folks, so I am pulling out in a 2017 Ford F150 Lariat Package EcoBoost truck from AutoNation Ford. I told you I'd be in a Ford next. This is the first time I've actually had the chance to drive the truck myself. I've ridden in several of these trucks, but I haven't had actually a chance to drive one. Now I'm very used to the EcoBoost. My wife actually drives a Navigator with an EcoBoost in it, and what I can tell you is that there's no lack of power in these trucks. These trucks have a tremendous amount of power, and I'm going to demonstrate that here. Now, we're going to go over some relatively rough roads here because they're under construction, but these half-ton trucks drive incredibly smooth. They're not even remotely close to what a 3/4 ton or a 1-ton truck is going to ride like. These trucks drive like cars, and quite frankly, if you're not hauling a really heavy trailer, if you're not putting a ton of payload in the back, and you're looking for a pickup truck that's going to give you some really good, utility purpose as well as a comfortable ride for yourself and your family, this is the type of truck you want. You want a half-ton truck. If you're hauling a travel trailer that's under 6,500 pounds, if you're hauling a boat, a flat utility trailer that you're not going to load up too heavy, this is the type of truck you want. Sure, the tow ratings on this truck can go all the way up to about 12,400 pounds, depending on how you get the truck equipped. For this truck, it's probably going to be closer to that 10,000, 11,000 pound range. But the reality is, 10,000 or 11,000 pounds towed behind a truck are vastly different, depending on what type of trailer it is. A travel trailer is going to tow so much different than a flatbed trailer loaded up with, a total weight of 9,000 or 10,000 pounds. And that's the point that I made in my previous video. See, this is all really rough roads, and this truck handles it very smooth. The steering on this truck is interesting because when you're going slow, it feels really light. It feels as if the steering on the truck is just very loose. But the faster you go, it tightens up considerably. And this particular truck just has a really nice handling characteristic. Now we're going to test acceleration. I know what an EcoBoost feels like, but I want you to visualize this. And it sounds really good. I know it's a V6, I know it's an EcoBoost, but boy, does it pick up quick. This truck has a tremendous amount of power. One of the big perks behind the EcoBoost is that you get the fuel economy of a V6, but you get the power of a very big V8. This truck has absolutely no lack of power. I talk about the horsepower and torque on these trucks, and man, it's crazy that they can get 470 pound-feet of torque and 375 horsepower out of a 3.5 liter turbocharged V6. That's just crazy. Now, the driving behavior on the expressway is actually really nice. I'm going about 60 miles an hour right now. Speed limit 65, so if I get around these folks, I can go a little bit quicker. This vehicle does have the blind spot detection system, or what they call BLIS. This one also has the LED light package, so it's got full LED front lights, full LED rear lights as well. If I had to compare it to a General Motors truck or a Ram truck, it would be difficult, because this is truly where I can tell a difference between how this truck feels versus the Ram Laramie Longhorn that I've driven, as well as the GMC Sierra SLT truck that I've driven. This truck does feel lighter. It doesn't feel as if it has a lot of bulk to it. That might be partially in part to the aluminum, maybe even the characteristics of how aluminum partially dampen the feel, but the truck feels nimble. It has a really, really smooth ride characteristic. So Ford did a really good job with the sound of this engine from the interior. It actually sounds very beefy. It sounds like a big V8. It doesn't have that V6 sound at all. I know from the outside that it's not going to have that same tone to it, but from the inside, you hit the gas, it sounds like you're driving a big V8. And that's just a testament to how engineers can create the harmonics and the actual sound inside of the cab to give you that impression. But man, does this truck have a tremendous amount of power. I can't reiterate that enough. So while I'm driving, I want to talk about the comfort on this truck. This truck has very comfortable seats. Now, it's hard to define what seats are going to be more comfortable in all the trucks, but what I can tell you is that it has really good side bolstering, and you have plenty of leg room up front. So a lot of seats kind of feel like they fall short of supporting the entire bottom of your leg. These seats feel as if they go right up to where that bend in your leg is. And that's really good, especially if you're doing any long distance driving, because you want that fully extending seat, because that's partially what gives you a more comfortable ride when you're driving long distances. You know, it's going to be difficult to tell you specifically which half-ton truck is actually smoother. They all ride and drive over bumps incredibly well. The 1500 Chevrolet and GMC trucks, as well as the Ram, Laramie Longhorn, and this truck, I would probably say are all just about on par with each other in terms of comfort as well as riding characteristics over bumps and rough terrain. Hey guys, so I'm going to try something different here today. So I brought this F150 Lariat over to Colonial Del Rey RV, and because I want to show you the types of travel trailers that you might want to tow with this size of truck. This is a 29-foot Puma. This travel trailer weighs about 6,000 pounds, slightly under 5,900 pounds empty. This is a reasonable sized trailer to tow behind that F-150, mainly because it's not going to be so heavy and so awkward towing it that you might pose a safety concern. This Surveyor would also be a good option. This trailer weighs about 7,600 pounds fully loaded and about 6,200, 6,300 pounds empty. And the reason why you want to stick with this size of trailer is because it's going to have the least negative effects on the truck. When you put a tremendous amount of weight behind a truck, especially on a trailer hitch, you inherently are going to have sway. And the reason why you have sway is because you create a pivot point here between the trailer receiver and the hitch of your truck. That pivot point is made worse when wind contacts the trailer and causes the trailer to want to move the truck side to side like this because of that weight on the back and because of where the tires are positioned on the trailer itself. When you have a fifth wheel or weight over the pin of your truck or over the back axle, you actually eliminate sway completely. So this F-150 weighs approximately 4,900 pounds. And because of that, because it's a lighter weight truck than, say, a 6,500 pound F-250, it's also going to handle trailers significantly different than a heavier pickup truck. A heavier pickup truck is going to be more planted in the back and be less apt for sway simply because of the wheelbase as well as the additional weight. So hey folks, so I'm standing in front of a 33-foot long Surveyor. So this is a significantly bigger trailer than the one that we had over there. This one comes in right at 9,561 pounds gross weight. That means this trailer plus all the weight you want to put in it's going to equal about 9,500 pounds. This would be right at the maximum payload, maximum towing capacity of that F-150. Does it mean you would want to be able to tow this trailer with that truck? I would definitely advise against it. This trailer is very long, and because of the length and because of how this wall is going to act when wind hits it, you want a heavier truck. This is what you would want a 250 or even a 350 single rear wheel to tow. Even better if you get it with a longer wheelbase. Main reason why is a longer wheelbase truck is going to give you a much more stable towing platform for a long trailer than a short wheelbase truck. So pretty much any of your lighter travel trailers, anything under 6,000, 7,000 pounds, 6,500 pounds is generally where I consider to be your good average for an F-150, or even a 1500 Silverado or a Ram 1500. If you go anything above that, that's really where the trailer is going to start affecting the ride and the safety and the stability of the truck. So the main reason that I took you to that RV dealership was to give you a better example of what I'm talking about when I tell you that these trucks, though they're rated to tow pretty phenomenally high-weighted trailers, you need to really be careful on what you actually put behind it. So I wanted you to actually see what happens when the engine shuts off, and there it goes. And the minute I take my foot off the brake, the engine's going to start back up. And the truck's moving again. That's pretty cool. And it's going to save you a lot of gas. A lot of people don't realize how much gas they actually spend when idling at red lights and stops. So at idle, this truck is right at 50 decibels. So it's a very quiet interior. During driving, like I said, between 57 and 59 decibels while driving at highway speeds, it's a very quiet interior. It's actually on par with pretty much all the other half-ton trucks now. They all sound about the same inside. They're doing very good at insulating the cabin from outside noise. So I want to thank AutoNation Ford in Corpus Christi, Texas. This is actually the dealership where I purchased my 2016 F450. It's a great place to buy a vehicle. They have really good pricing. And if you are in the market for a Ford vehicle, I highly recommend you give them a call if you're in the area or if you're willing to make a short trip. Anyways, if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. Thank you.